Hello, wonderful, amazing human beings. I don't really have a plan for this video, but I want to talk about something interesting, sort of a new direction the coaching or the content rather is going in, maybe an opening up, if you will. I have done quite a lot of videos on this channel where I've had women on the podcast. I've collaborated with women like Amanda from Girlfriend Guide for Guys. I have obviously had my partner, my past partner, Imi, in like 100 videos or so. And I've done a few videos or podcasts with women that we've dated or slept with and had them on the podcast. You know, Bronwyn, who we saw for 2.5 years, came on a couple of times. We've had other women on there. And I've been having deep conversations with my friend Ravi and my friend and fellow coach Taylor about what it is that we're trying to achieve here, what it is that this channel is for, and I guess from a higher purpose, why is Andy here? Like, why is Andy on this earth? Is it just to do some content and make a lot of money? And that's never really been the mission of mine. I've always known that there was something beyond that. But I've been playing around with these concepts for quite a while now, probably for the last 10 years, but definitely recently even more so. And playing around with Ravi's ideas as well as what he wants from life and what he thinks that I, Andy, can contribute to the world, to the universe, to the greater good and all of that. And Taylor has been jumping in there as well. And we've all been having these conversations. We've had a few other people as well that we've been opening up about with all of this. And I think two words that come to my mind as to like, why is Andy on this planet? Number one is love. To love everybody as much as I possibly can, unconditionally, and give out as much love as I can, especially to those of you who don't feel loved, who don't feel worthy, who don't feel good enough, who feel like you cannot achieve anything, you can't be happy, you're not good enough, maybe you feel like an incel or a woman that's been hurt or whatever it is, you don't feel any love. I want to show you that you're lovable and that there is love inside you if you know where to look for it. The second word that comes to my mind is surrender. Letting go and surrendering to whatever the universe wants me to do. Or you might say, whatever you and the audience want me to do. You know, if you and the audience and my clients say, Andy, here's a need that we all have. I want to be able to get better at letting go and surrendering to that. And one of the needs or the things that Ravi and I and Taylor and Cam and Ed and a lot of friends that I've talked to have sort of identified is that there is a very real need, especially maybe in 2025 in this current era, for human connection, for love, for bridging the gaps between divided sides, you know, left versus right, politics, like conservatives versus liberals or whatever the fuck the other side is, men versus women, you know, white guys versus different races, all of these different dividing lines that we like to draw in the sand. And then we point at the other side and say, like, you don't understand me and I can never understand you. And how many of you have done this? And it's okay if you have, because I've done this a million times in the past. I don't anymore. But how many of you have sort of said, women have it easy. Men are the ones that have the difficult, blah, blah, blah. And then how many of you women listening have done the same thing? And you say, men have it easy. Men get listened to. They get respect in the workplace. Like, it's so easy for men. Women didn't even get to vote for a long time. It's so hard to be a woman. And we're so busy looking at ourselves and then looking at the other side and saying, it's so impossibly easy for them. They don't have any problems. Fuck them. And it's so hard for me. And what has helped me a lot over the last like 10 years or so is having these conversations with people that my brain is tempted to say are the other. Like having conversations, especially with women. And I even wrote an article about this. I wrote this many years ago. It was called Honesty is an Ideal You Work Towards. I wrote this like 5 years ago, more than 5 years ago. And I basically talked in this, it's a really long article. Look at that. All I ask is you be honest. I talked in here about how beautiful it has been in my life for me to start treating women like they are on my team. Like it's me and them together as teammates rather than me versus them. And so in this article, I literally talk about like how to start opening yourself up to women. And any of you women listening, like you could use this article and start opening up to some men. And I talk about like questions that I would ask them and conversations that we would have. And I've recently started having, or continued to have, more of these conversations with women as I've started to put myself back out there into the dating world. I've had some really beautiful, honest, vulnerable, incredible conversations with women. And if you do this enough, and you know, I've been doing this at this point for like 8 or 9 years. I've been talking to women and asking about their struggles and coaching them and mentoring them and all of that. I've been doing this for like 8 or 9 years. But as you start to do this, you start to realize that all of the problems that you have in your life and all of the struggles that you might be experiencing, guess what? Other human beings go through those too, or they go through something that's so similar that you may as well say it's basically the same thing. Or even if they haven't been through that thing, they've been through their own hell. They've been through their own version of, Dante's 7 layers of hell. We all have. We're all human beings. Buddhists sort of say to be born human is to learn suffering. Like, there is suffering on this planet. Yes, no shit. And part of the path of enlightenment or peace or happiness or just making the world a bit better is to go out there and say, how can I suffer less? The stated mission of Buddhism is to remove all suffering for all living beings. Like, that's the mission that we're all on. And it's not just about removing suffering. It's about building some happiness, building some peace, building some love, building some connection. And I think so many of us are fucking hungry for that every time I have one of these deep connections, or these deep conversations, with another man, oh my God, does he open up and just say, holy shit, bro, I felt nervous and afraid and like I don't know what I'm doing and I have no clue about life and I struggle to ask for help. I, Andy, struggle to ask for help a lot. I think that's a very common thing, especially for men. And every time I have one of these conversations with women, they open up and say, oh my God, I'm deeply insecure about this and that and the other. I was with an incredibly insanely beautiful woman last night, and we were laying naked in bed and we were having conversations about this stuff, about connection, about men and women connecting and how we might feel and all of that and the struggles and all of that. Incredible. One of the most beautiful women that I've ever been with. Absolutely just amazing. And I said to her, is there anything about your body that you maybe love? Like, what do you love about your body? And she wasn't really able to say much. And I said, well, what about your body do you not maybe like as much? Or what would you change? And this woman that, as I was looking at her, I'm just like, you're so unbelievably beautiful. She says, took her a while to be able to admit this, but she shyly says, I don't like anything about my body. And this is such an insanely common idea that I just hear from women, from female friends that are attractive. Just so many women will say, I have so many insecurities. And a lot of you men will look at women and be like, she's hot. Her life must be so easy. It's like, have you ever fucking asked a woman? Like, what is your life like? They will tell you the same shit that men will tell you. I struggle sometimes. I feel lonely. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know who I am. I don't know who I'm supposed to be. I feel pulled in 10 different directions, like I'm supposed to simultaneously be 10 different people or 1,000 different people. And every person that I meet will judge me in their own unique way that I can't see coming. And no matter how hard I fucking try, someone will be unhappy with me, which is just almost a universal truth. There's a saying in Buddhism that eventually everybody lets you down. And you can reverse that and say, eventually you let everybody down. You don't mean to. You're just fucking existing. And someone will have a problem with your very existence. And so life can be a challenging, difficult thing at times. It can be very fucking lonely. And the answer to this struggle is not to divide each other and say, you're on the right and I'm on the left, so fuck you, I'm not talking to you. The answer isn't to have podcasts like fucking Fresh and Fit who say women are bad, they're fucking horrible, they're bad, and just pour out this toxic fucking trash of hatred. That is not the answer. It's not to point at the other side and say they're different from me, so they must be bad. Or they're different from me, so they could never understand my struggles. They're different from me, so they can never get it. They're different from me, so I can't connect with them. No. Every human being is exactly like you. These are all the famous fucking prophets and people who start religions which have an influence on the rest of the world for thousands of years, like Jesus and Buddha. And regardless of what you might think about any one religion or its prophets, the fact is these ideas are universal. These ideas are the ideas that last for millennium, for maybe forever. They're sort of baked into the fucking universe. Ideas like compassion, love, forgiveness, and we're human, so we're not always good at doing those things, and God fucking knows that a lot of religious people are not very good at being religious. The very thing that their religion preaches, they kind of miss the mark and go, I should kill millions of people because God fucking told me so. That's the opposite. But underneath all of that bullshit, there are universal truths there, like kindness, compassion, the Good Samaritan story from the Christian Bible. See everyone else as your brother and your sister. If your fucking enemy is suffering, give them some food and alleviate their suffering. And in doing so, in helping them, even though you think they're your enemy, you will start to realize that they were just your brother or your sister. Maybe they were misguided. Maybe you were. Forgiveness is realizing that there was nothing to forgive in the first place. It was what you were thinking and believing that caused your fucking suffering. And yes, these are big radical fucking truths, but these are the big radical truths that I think a lot of you are fucking desperate to hear. It's why you come to this channel. You could go and watch anyone else on the internet. There's guys that probably have more sex than me. They're probably handsomer than me, probably cooler than me, better production values. They speak better. They're probably less clumsy and fucking autistic. But you keep coming back here because there is some part of you that knows that honesty, that compassion, that love, that beautiful fucking feeling that you can feel a little hint of inside you wants to burst out and break free. There's a big wall between who you are right now and who you want to be, that loving, unconditionally forgiving, beautiful human being who can go out there and make connections with men and women, regardless of race, gender, height, age, all these other dividing lines that we put in there to ostracize ourselves. We think that we're protecting ourselves, but we're just making ourselves fucking lonely. Guys, is it fucking empowering when you say women have it easy? Does that make you feel good, or do you feel like fucking shit? Women, how do you feel when you say all men are fuckboys and they can never connect and they're bad and blah, blah, blah? Does that make you feel empowered? Do you feel good when you say that? You feel shit. Guys on the left and girls on the left, when you attack the right, does that feel good? Does it feel empowering? And people on the right, do you feel good when you own the libs or whatever the fuck you jerk yourself off over? Does that feel good? To own the fucking libs, to own your fellow human being, to make them feel shit. Do you feel good? Temporarily, yes. But do you sleep well at night? Fuck no. Or you wouldn't be here on this channel seeking something greater, something better, something brighter, something bigger. All of this leads me to an interesting direction that I find myself at this crossroad. I'm starting to go down a slightly different path, or maybe you would say I'm opening up a path that I've already been walking down, because for years now I've had women on the channel. I've opened up these discussions. I've had my past coaching clients on here to share their stories, and I've shared my own struggles. But I want to do this more because I think this is what we're all seeking. I think some of you come to this channel to just be dictated at, to have me tell you what to do. Some of you want that, and I will continue to do that. I'm not going to stop giving you the thing that you say that you want. But I think a lot of you are here because you don't want to feel fucking lonely anymore. You want to feel like you can just have a conversation with a woman or just be around a woman. And you women, you want to just feel safe around men. You want to understand men and you want to understand yourself. And so here's what I am doing. I am on a mission right now to start reaching out to more people, men and women. Probably going to put a little bit more focus into women because the men thing is easy. I've already done a couple of collabs. I already have like 10 people that want to collab with me. We're going to do tons of that. So that's just going to take care of itself. That's easy. Sitting down with men is pretty easy, but I feel like especially in these spaces, in the spaces of dating and sex, particularly coming from a man, I am primarily a men's dating coach, a men's sex and relationship coach, and I coach women, I help women, I do lots of other content on spirituality, love, enlightenment, happiness, peace, money, business, blah, blah, blah. But most of you are here to talk to or listen to or be around or connect with or feel the energy of a men's self-improvement dating coach. And what is the internet right now like when it comes to men's self-improvement and sex and dating? You have the Sigma male grandson on one side saying, be deeply unhappy for every single millisecond of your fucking life, and if you ever complain about it, you're a fucking pussy and a cock and a beta bitch faggot and you should die. Is that empowering? Do you feel good when you have a bad day and you hear that Sigma male grandson nonsense? Or it's the guys who are just trying to impress, the Instagram influencers, the people who post their Lamborghini and the Dan Bilzerians and all these people who say, I'm better than you, fuck you, you're not me. You need to become even remotely close to me before a woman will pay attention to you. Does that feel good? Does that feel empowering? Or does that feel overwhelming? You have the Fresh and Fits and the Andrew Tates who say, fuck you, women. You're horrible, you're shit, you ain't jack shit. And then anytime any sort of intelligent woman comes even remotely close to that, they have to play fucking sophistry games, like level 1, grade 1 fucking argument skills of just being like, well, what's your body count? And she's like, well, okay, I've slept with like, 10 women. I'm never going to listen to a woman that's fucked 10 guys. It's like, what the fuck is that? That's like level 1 argument skills. Like you just woke up day 1 and you only just figured out how to argue. And so you just attack someone. And you're just like, I'm going to say she's a slut. And then I don't have to listen to any intelligent conversation she might have. The internet, the world, you, consciousness, humanity deserves something a little bit better. It deserves real conversations with real human beings where we fucking listen to them, where we listen to each other. We share, we learn, we grow, we evolve. This is obviously, like I said, what I've been doing on my channel for the last 5 fucking years, you know? And I want to do this more. I want to open up conversations to more of you. That's why I've started, you will notice, for the last year or so, reading out a lot of your comments. And you guys will email me and say, can you help me with this? And I'll go, here you fucking go. You'll leave a comment and I will literally do a 1-hour video about that. And I'll say, I know how you feel, brother. I know you feel alone. Or a sister, I know how you feel. I felt like that. Here's when I felt like that. Here's how my coaching clients got through it. Here's how you're going to get through it. But I want to expand that even more and do more of these collabs. And here's what I'm offering to all of you. If there are any of you in the audience, I would prefer women. But if any of you men, like I'm not going to say no to men, but this is like, I'm aiming 75% towards women here because it's easy for me to talk to men. There's lots of men that will talk to me. Like, that's easy. But for any of you ladies out there that are listening, if you are willing to be courageous and brave and vulnerable and come on here and you can be anonymous, you don't have to say your name. You don't have to show your face, just your voice. And we'll keep you anonymous and keep no details. It won't be live. It would be pre-recorded with me. I'm very loving. I'm very gentle. I would help you feel comfortable. But I would love to open up this floor, this space, this arena, this area. It's not an arena. This isn't a fucking fight, but this beautiful, safe space. If any of you women want to come on here and share your story, share your struggles, share where you struggle in dating, talk to me about people that have ghosted you. I had a conversation with the woman that I'm talking about last night. You know, we're laying in bed. And I said, how do you feel about men? Like, I just asked her. And she said, sometimes I really hate men and I don't want to, but I've just been hurt. And this last guy that I was talking to, and we're dating casually, we really liked each other. We would talk every day. And then he just ghosted me. And I texted him a bunch of times and he just didn't reply. And I don't know what I did wrong. And then before that, the guy that I was with, he cheated on me. And he cheated on me with one of my friends. And I didn't know what to do about that. I don't know what I did wrong. And like, she's such a beautiful human being. If you guys met her, you'd be like, this is just a lovely human being. You all are. All of you are lovely human beings. And we get ghosted sometimes and we don't know what that means. We don't know if we did something wrong and we're struggling and we're suffering in our own fucking 4 walls. This hell that we live in where we think we're all alone, especially if you happen to be one gender, which all of you are. Whatever gender you are, you think the other gender will never understand because a lot of the time they don't. You know, with Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate and the Red Pill and all of that out there, they're all doing their best and none of this is a criticism of them. It's a criticism of their message. And even then, it's not a criticism. It's a pointing out that what they're doing is not helping. They can justify it and say, well, I'm helping, I'm making money and all of this. No, that doesn't build connection. It sows dissent between the 2 genders. Left versus right politics doesn't make everyone happier, does it? It doesn't make anyone happier. It just makes you point at the other side instead of looking inwards and saying, what can I do today to make the world a better place? I'm so busy pointing at them and saying they are the problem, but what have I done? You know, my friend Amanda from Girlfriend Guide for Guys did this video and it was called, What Have Women Done for Male Loneliness? And she specifically said, so many guys will complain to me and complain to women and complain to each other and say, women don't do anything to combat male loneliness. There's an incel epidemic. What are women doing? And she pretty fucking courageously pointed straight back and said, what have you done for male loneliness? When was the last time you men who are lonely, and I'm not pointing at any of you, but she was doing this. What was the last time one of you who's a lonely male, when was the last time you went out and sat with one of your fellow bros and just sat with him and listened? When was the last time you said to any of your male friends, are you guys ever lonely? Because I get lonely. Can we talk about this? When was the last time you sat with yourself and said, I'm so busy expecting women to fill this fucking giant big crater in my heart with love. Why don't I fill it with love? We're men, we're really good at fixing things. And yet when it comes to relationships, we say, I'm helpless, I'm hopeless. So many of you do that. You're a man. We're supposed to be good at this shit. Fix it. And if you don't know how, ask for help. And yes, that's the most terrifying thing as a man. It is for me too. And for you women out there, you're supposedly really good at talking about your feelings. And so what would happen if you started talking about your feelings with men? And yes, lots of you are already doing these things. Much love to all of you. Let's keep that going. This is beautiful shit. And so this is more for the guys and the girls out there who don't share, who don't connect, who don't reach out, who don't open up because they're scared of being vulnerable. And God fucking knows. I just asked my friend Taylor for help today. And in the voice message that I sent him asking for help, like 10 times I said, this is really hard for me, man. It's really hard to ask for help. Believe me, I get it. I really struggle to not be the lone wolf sometimes. I get it. And that's why I want to start having these conversations with men, with women. I think I'd like to do more with women because, like I said, it's easy for me to do it with men. I want to have more of these conversations on this YouTube channel, on this podcast, on this space that we've created, this community, and reach out to our brothers and our sisters and say, tell us how you're struggling. What are you struggling with? Because if you see your fellow human being struggling, you start to connect with them. Like, that is one of the ways that we as humans connect. We connect over struggle and shared difficulty, and then moving past them and overcoming them and being happier, healthier, brighter, smarter, more peaceful and enlightened or whatever. And so I want to extend this, like I said, to any of you women out there who are struggling with something. Like I said, maybe you've been ghosted a bunch. Maybe you feel unlucky in love. Maybe you're sad. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you just feel like you know you're so pretty and people keep telling you, but you don't feel pretty, which is a common thing. I ask basically every woman I've ever slept with, like, in bed, like when they're naked, do you like your body? And like, I'm going to say 85% of them say no. Stop and think about that, guys. And you women, stop and think about that. When you're feeling lonely and ugly and not pretty and everyone's telling you you're pretty but you don't believe it, chances are 85% of women out there are feeling the exact same way as you. And I think us being able to have these conversations on this beautiful platform, and I will make sure it's safe. I will make sure that you're anonymous if you want to be that. Whatever you want to do, we will do that. I will be very gentle with you. It won't be recorded live and all of that. But if any of you are willing to be courageous and vulnerable, and those two things are required, maybe just willingness and vulnerability. If you're willing to be vulnerable, I am providing and I am opening up this safe space for people to come on here, on a Zoom call or whatever. We'll record it. I'll put it on the channel to just talk about whatever the fuck you feel like talking about. You want some free coaching from me? That's yours to have. We'll talk about that. You want to talk with someone who will listen and not judge you about struggles you've been through or being ghosted or being hurt or I'm unlucky in love. I'll sit and listen. You want to talk about kinks? I had a woman like a year ago come to the coaching program literally only because I and the other coaching members would not judge her for her kinks. She lived in a very conservative area and she'd never really been able to talk to anyone. She literally came to the coaching because she said, I watched a bunch of your BDSM videos and you seemed chill and your partner Emmy seemed pretty chill. And so I'm coming to coaching so I can talk to you about BDSM and share my kinks and you won't laugh at me. And she had some wild kinks. We never laughed at her. We're like, that's beautiful. Let's go find you a man who wants to do that. And we did. We helped her in a very safe way. I think she's been dating a guy for like 2 years now and they explore BDSM. They're having a great time together. And so whatever you want to talk about, this is a very non-judgmental, completely judgment-free zone. And I would love to start opening up this space and letting people share. Because it's one thing for me to talk about my struggles, and that helps a lot of you, but I'm just one person. I haven't lived an entire massive life where I've tried everything and struggled with everything and overcome everything. I only have a limited amount of information and love and sharing and all of that I can give. But hearing from someone else who's a lot more like you, whoever you might be, the person listening, hearing from someone who's gone through the same thing as you or had the same struggles as you or overcome the same thing as you, that really means something. Because then you don't feel so alone. It's one thing for me to say, I get it. It's another thing for you to see someone who's been through it say, I get it. Then you fucking feel. Then you fucking listen. And then you don't feel so unloved. You don't feel so alone. You don't feel so unworthy. And you don't feel so undeserving. So again, for any of you women listening out there, men, you're welcome to too, but I'll be very transparent. I'm probably not going to say yes to a lot of you men just because I already have a bunch of men that I'm doing this shit with going forward. But if you tell me some crazy, interesting story as a man or some beautiful struggle that you've been through and overcome, hell yes, we will sit down and talk about that. For any of you men who want more of that, I'm in the process of building another coaching program that'll be a lot more affordable. I've talked about this a bunch, so that would be the space to share. But for you women, I'm opening this up more to all of you. Come if you want to. Open up in this very safe, non-judgmental space. Funnily enough, one of the things, I've been on a couple of dates in the last week, and the one thing that they've said to me, before we've fucking had sex or anything, they've said this on the first date, just with the conversations that we've had. 3 of them so far have said, I feel very safe around you. I feel like you don't judge me. I feel like I can tell you anything. I feel very listened to. And that is the space that I would be providing. a judgment-free space where you can talk about your struggles or how you've overcome them or what you're going through or ask for help or any of that. So I want to start putting this energy out a little bit more, the energy of other people and the struggles that they're going through, so we can start building a connection, bridge that gap between men and women, between left and right, between whatever division we come up with. But we'll start with men and women. We will start bridging that gap and healing that trauma that a lot of us have given ourselves and been given by the other side inadvertently. You know, a lot of you men fucking really struggle to trust women because you've been hurt by a woman. Really, you've been hurt by your own thoughts and your beliefs and all of that, but you were innocent in that. You didn't know that. Like, you didn't have the tools of reframing and a support network and all of that. And a lot of you women have been hurt by men, or the stories that you tell about men, and not knowing how to reframe it and recontextualize it and all of that. And so a lot of us have genuinely built up some fucking trauma when it comes to dating or connection or love or friendship or business or anything. Family relationships, like how much fucking trauma is there? You know, we all are collectively carrying around some trauma. I am still to this day. And we're all working on sharing that and letting that go. And that is how we heal it, by sharing it. You know, a problem shared is a problem halved. And so that's this space. Any of you women, if you would like to get in contact with me and do this, rather than leaving a comment, you're welcome to, but I probably won't read the comments. I don't really read all the comments. Email me, Andy@killyourinnerloser.com. Again, that is Andy@killyourinnerloser.com. Send me an email. Just tell me a paragraph or two about you, what you want to talk about, what you think you can contribute, and what you would like to share. If you just want some help on one of these videos, you know, we'll jump on and I will be there for you. But I would like to start opening the doors to communication. I'm also, in the next week or so, going to do a collab with Amanda from Girlfriend Guide for Guys. I have nothing but insane amounts of love for her as a human being. She's a wonderful person. I've shown a bunch of my other like men in this space, you know, Ravi and Taylor and people like that. I've shown a bunch of them her content, and they're all like, oh my fucking God, bro. Like, these are the connections that we want to start building. These are the conversations we want to start building. And so they're going to collab with her as well. And we're all about to do a collab together. So expect that in the next week or two on the channel. But for any of you women out there, like I said, email me, Andy@killyourinnerloser.com. And I will happily have you on the channel and happily share your story. But let's start building that bridge between the two genders, guys and girls. We'll start with that bridge. We'll start with healing a little bit between men and women, because I've said this a million times to you guys. If you could just see that women are actually really nice and they're really scared of you, they're really scared of getting their heart broken, they're scared that you will hurt them, then you'll look at them and go, oh shit, they are scared of the same stuff as me. Maybe I can just tell them that I'm scared too. You know, this woman I went on a date with yesterday, I literally told her I was nervous. No shit, I'm nervous. I'm getting back into dating, right? And yeah, Amy and I dated girls together. So I was already dating, but like, this is the first time I've dated by myself in like 6 years. I was really scared. I was really nervous. So I just told her. I was like, I was so nervous when I met you. I was nervous to walk here. I was like fucking shitting myself. And how did you feel? And she was like, I was so nervous too. And I specifically said to her, thank you for being so nice to me. Thank you for being so kind. I'm so grateful that you shared this space with me. I'm grateful you shared your body with me. I'm grateful you shared this vulnerability with me. Thank you for being here with me and giving yourself to me and allowing me to give myself to you. And she kind of had both of her hands and she put her hands on my face gently and just looked into my eyes. And she was like, no, thank you. Like, thank you for saying that. Thank you for being grateful for the vulnerability it took for me to get naked in front of you. It took fucking vulnerability. And so I think if you guys start to see a few women talk about their vulnerability on this channel, and you women, you've probably already seen it because I'm doing it a lot, but I'm going to do it even more. If you start to see some men talk about how they're scared and they're afraid and they're vulnerable and they don't know what they're doing a lot of the time, maybe all the time, I think we start to realize that that brother or that sister, that person that I'm saying is the other or the enemy or that thing, they're not just that thing to be objectified or that thing to be scared of or that thing to not understand and that thing to talk about when they're, you know, as if they're not in the room. No, I can bring them over here and have them on my team. I can talk with them instead of talking about them. And what a world that might be if we all get to live in a place where we don't talk about people, but we talk with people. And that's what I'm here to build.